Hello, chessmates. A.J. Windlass here to argue that, generally speaking, a knight is worth more than a bishop. Yes, little old me, a big nobody. Here to argue with the greats like Bobby Fischer, the first person who said that a bishop was worth about 3.25 points. More recently, Grandmaster Larry Kaufman ran a computer analysis on millions of chess positions, and he concluded that the two pieces were each worth about 3.5 points and that the difference between them was negligible. Yes, I am well aware that in some positions a bishop is worth more than a knight, and that in some positions a knight is worth more than a bishop. But I am not here today to teach you about the relative worth of various positions or how to achieve them. I am here to argue that, generally speaking, a knight will win more games than a bishop, and I will prove it. I maintain that Grandmaster Kaufman's conclusion ignores the human element. If you are a computer program, or you are a grandmaster playing in a classical game where you can look over every move for 3 minutes, then I would absolutely be compelled to agree with him. But I am not a chess engine, and most of us aren't grandmasters. And I will show you a couple of examples where grandmasters not only missed the knight move, but did so in such a convincing way that you will be forever prompted to hang on to your knights a little bit longer. Don't go away, you gotta see this to believe it. This is a game I observed on ICC, and when I saw this game I was so much in disbelief that I had to go back and examine the moves with a chess engine to make sure that I wasn't missing something. White here is the Turkish grandmaster Kıvanç Hazndaroglu, and he's playing under the handle Mimosta, and he's playing against Akaba in the house, who is rated even higher than he is. White makes the very dubious move, queen captures the pawn on g4, where he is susceptible to capture by the knight at f6. It is black's turn, and even more surprising, black also misses knight takes g4. So now we have two very highly respected players that both have missed the fact that the knight can capture the most important piece on the board. I thought that surely white would now move his queen out of danger, but instead, even more surprising, white moves the knight on c3 to d5. And now black has yet a second chance to capture the queen on g4. To my total disbelief, black fails to see knight captures g4 again, and instead captures the knight on d5. So for 4 consecutive turns, these very highly respected players have missed a simple knight move. Some of you will undoubtedly say, well, that was a very freakish incident, unlikely to happen, and you'll probably never see that happen again. But let me show you another game that I watched live on ICC. Here we have George, an international master that up until a few months ago played very frequently on ICC, playing against Rig, who is rated about 150 points higher than he is. Here it's black's turn, and black moves queen to e6. And I'm looking at that thinking, did he really do that? As you can see, the knight on c5 can capture the queen with a check. I was even more surprised when George did not capture the queen, but instead moved his queen to d1. Unlike the previous game where the queen remained on a bad square for 4 moves, in this game black saw the error of his move and returned to e7. But 6 moves later, This process repeated itself. White moves his knight to a6, forking the queen and the rook. The pawn at b7 is pinned because if it captures the knight, the rook at b6 will capture the rook at b8, and white will still win the exchange. It would appear that black did not realize that the knight could capture the queen, so rather than moving his queen, he moved the knight to c5. Even more surprising, white did not capture the queen and instead played knight takes the rook at b8. So once again, two very talented players missed a simple knight capture multiple times from both sides of the board. So you can see it's not just lower rated players that miss knight moves. Bishops and rooks and queens go in straight lines, and it's easy to see where they can go. But knights move in a way that is more difficult for the human brain to visualize. And they will sneak up on you when you least expect it. Oh, you can look out for them. You can look at every square your opponent's knight can go to, but while you're doing so, your clock is ticking, and you're giving your opponent a time advantage. Knights can be such a headache to the common club player that whenever I go back to the States and visit my friend Hank, we will be playing a game, or he will be sitting on the board next to me, and one of the first things I will hear from him as his bishop captures his opponent's knight is, "Get those knights off the board." I would like to see research results not on the absolute value of a knight versus a bishop based on computer analysis, but in actual games played by real humans, which piece most frequently made the winning move. Perhaps we would find that Bobby Fischer, being the genius that he was correct, that a bishop is worth 3.25 points. While Grandmaster Kaufman was also correct, a knight is worth 3.5 points. But whatever the results, I would love to see them broken down by category, titled players, experts, A, B, and C players. In the meantime, there are things we can do to improve our knight play. I plan to come out with some new material, so you can subscribe to this channel, or better yet, visit my website, silentnature.com. The best way to keep up with anything new that I come out with is to bookmark my What's New page. Until the next time, see ya later, checkmater. Thanks for watching.